Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in, day out watches. Thanks for joining me. As promised in the channel introduction, now up on the YouTube page for this channel, my first review is now here. And I'm really excited to share my first watch review with everybody. This is a moment I've been looking forward to for a long time, ever since I've gotten into admiring watches and starting a small collection. So without further ado, let's get started. A little backstory about this watch. This was a watch that is very important to me. It marked a significant milestone in my life. It was basically my graduation present from high school. It was gifted by my family as congratulations after high school. And so in that way, it stayed with me in terms of memory, and it will for the rest of my days, and hopefully for many generations after me. This is an Alpina watch. Alpina is maybe a brand that not a lot of you have heard of. It's a sort of lay-down Swiss brand. It definitely hides under the names that you hear most often, like Rolex, Omega, Tag Heuer, Patek Philippe, etc. But it is still a quality Swiss brand. They make great watches, and they typically like to make watches among three different lines. The Startimer, which is their pilot watch, the Alpina, which is their sort of land watch that they use, and then there's the Sea Strong, their diver. The company was founded in 1883 in Switzerland and was actually bought out by the Frederic Constant company. That was actually an off-branch of Patek Philippe. So, cool history, and without further ado, let's get started and see what's inside. So as you can see, we have a standard sort of watch box, standard for this kind of price range. We bought this watch for about $400. As you can see, we have the Alpina logo, the name, and the founding year, 1883, along with their headquarters in Geneva. I'm going to take the box off. We can see that this is a two-stage opening mechanism. It's a box inside a box, but whereas the outer box is sort of flimsy cardboard-like material, this inner box is a fine black leather. This inner box is smaller. It sits on a foam cushion to protect it in case of impacts, but again, we have the same logo and depictions on the leather box. So let's go ahead and open. And there it is. There is our watch. This is an Alpina Startimer Pilot watch. Big hands and with a date and with a small second subdial. As you can see, it's packaged nicely inside on its leather cushion, which is pretty standard for most watches now, actually. You can see that the inscriptions that have been present on the first two layers of the box are now on the inside as well. Let's go ahead and take the watch off the pillow. See, it's a leather strap with a traditional staggered setting buckle on the underside. And so here we go. Here it is, the Alpina Startimer Quartz pilot watch. So right away, you can get the feeling that this is definitely a higher quality than, let's say, a Timex or any standard watch that you could go buy for $50. It feels heavier, higher grade materials, and just by the way that you can hear it tick, or maybe the lack of the tick that you find with cheaper quartz watches, means that this has a higher quality of pedigree almost immediately as you feel it. The strap that we have is a tan Swiss leather strap. I've had this watch for almost a year now, and the leather is holding up actually reasonably well. I do like to wear this watch quite often, maybe 4 or 5 days a week. So this band has really held up well. Moving to the moving to the watch itself. The case itself is brushed stainless steel. It's brushed stainless steel all the way around, silver color. And as you can see, it's virtually bezel-less around. The main focus of this watch is on its dial, which, coming from a pilot watch, this makes sense because a pilot watch really emphasizes readability over all other aspects of the watch. Looking at the dial itself, it's a little bit of a darker shade of the tan that we found on the strap. You can see that the hour markers are quite large, and the quarters of each of the watch, the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions, are accented with the sticker inserts that rise slightly off the dial to give even more enhanced readability. You can see that we have the name of the brand, Alpina, along with Geneve. This is one of the only watches that actually has just Geneve. All the others have 1883 Geneve inscripted below the name. We have an hour and a minute hand and a sub-dial with the seconds. I personally like this feature a lot. It sort of hides the fact that it's a quartz watch by sort of burying the second hand into this sub-dial. As accustomed with all Swiss watches, between either side of the 6 o'clock positions lie the inscription Swiss made. You will find on basically every Swiss watch to tell you that it was made in Switzerland. It's a cool touch that sort of leaks authoritarianism on the watch. We can also see that on the edge of the minute hand, we have a sort of red triangle. Now that is a silhouette to the logo of the company, which is a triangle with a hole in the middle. Now moving to the back, you can see it's pretty standard stainless steel encryption with the brand name and 1883 Geneve. Once more, we've got a serial number on the case, as well as some identifying information, including the make, the model, its water resistance, which is 100 meters or 10 atmospheres, and the crystal material, which is sapphire. The crown is a screw-down crown, which allows for the water resistance of 100 meters. On the side, you can see the triangle, which is trademark of the Alpina logo. Operation is quite simple. The fact that it's a screw-down crown means that the first pop, the first position, is just a release of the position. The second position, when you pull out, adjusts the date window. And the third position, all the way out, adjusts the time. Now, this is a quartz movement, and the movement does stop when you try and adjust the time. I know there are some watches out there that the movement keeps going when you adjust the time. I know some higher ends like to do that. But overall, setting the time on this is a very smooth motion. With just a half a turn of the wheel, you can get basically almost an hour in time. And speaking of time, that brings me to probably the quirkiest feature of this watch, which is its date window. You can see the date window is at the 6 o'clock position. And the cool thing about this date window is that unlike other watches where the date window is just a wheel of numbers going from 1 to 31 and then restarting, this watch has two wheels of dates. There's a wheel that the right-hand wheel where the 6 is in 26 right now goes from 0 to 9. And the left-hand side, which currently reads 2, goes from 0 to 3. So if we spin, let me just get it back out into the time setting position. If we spin the watch to midnight, you will see that just the right side changes, okay? And that's one of the coolest features, I think, on this watch, and the fact that you can spin it and that only the one side of the day changes. And then right now it's reading 27. As soon as you get to 29 and you're going to the day 30, both sides will change so that you just get a 30. So the left wheel will change to a 3, the right wheel will change to a 0. The left wheel does lie on top of the first of the right wheel, as we can see based on the different depressions coming through. And that's a feature that I do really like about this watch. I think it's kind of quirky. Now let's talk about the function. This is a channel that emphasizes functionality of watches. Is it a good day in, day out watch? Well, let's take a look at the various criteria. First of all, does it work with a lot of outfits? And this watch, I can definitely say, yes, it does. The sort of tan khaki color that this has can match with many color combinations. There are only a few that could cause alarm, which do include like lots of black, in which case you'd want to go for a darker piece. Legibility is also another key component, and this watch has great legibility. as the hallmark of a pilot watch and is accentuated by the basically bezel-less dial. Lume on the watch to enhance legibility. There is lume on this watch. It comes at the 4 corners where you have the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions. Those all light up, as well as the hour and minute hands also light up. The lume is good, but it's not great. Diver watches, since they are meant to be read underwater, have basically nuclear lume, and it looks fantastic. I really enjoy the lume on diver watches. But for a pilot watch that really doesn't see much intense action, most likely, based on who would buy this, the lume is good. Lume is very good. The second hand stays out of the way, which is nice. You can focus on the actual time. And but other than that, I would say this is a good day in, day out watch. It's big, it's legible, it's easy to wear, and it's not distracting for me. There aren't too many complications, chronographs, perpetual calendars, day dates that can get in the way of this. In terms of how it fits on size, this band prefers medium to larger size wrists. I have a smaller wrist, and I have to slide the band all the way to the tightest buckle, and even then the watch is still a little bit too loose for me. I can still wiggle it around. I prefer my watches I prefer my watches tight. I prefer that feel that it's just anchored to your skin, and that whatever you go through, it's just going to stay right there, that you won't move. But some people I know like their watches loose, and that's okay. So it sort of is a happy medium between a tight and a loose watch. And with that, let me just unbuckle. And with that about wraps up our review of the Alpina Startimer Pilot Watch. For a Swiss Quartz watch, and at the price I got it, about $400, this is a great piece for someone who wants to step up to the next level from like Timexes and Fossils into the next league of watches. It's a very nice piece. It'll get the job done. It's a great everyday wearer, and I highly recommend it. If you have any questions about the Alpina Startimer Quartz watch, or would like to suggest any comments for improvement on this review, please do not hesitate to leave a comment or send me an email at my email address, which I will list in the description. Thank you for watching this first episode of Day In, Day Out Watch Reviews. My name is Kevin. I'm your reviewer, and I appreciate you taking your time to watch this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please contact me. For one final note, if you have any timepiece that you would like me to review, whether it be virtually, whether it be in person, I would be more than happy to help you out. As I said at the beginning of this channel, I would like to help spread my intake on the watch community and share the pieces that are valuable to you. What makes them unique? What makes them special to you? Please do not hesitate to reach out to me via my social media, which is down in the description, as well as my email address. Thank you very much. And keep your time, stay out there, stay healthy.